Time now for quarterfinal number 3 here at the Yankton World Championships of 2021. And we have a cracking lineup for this quarterfinal. Let's go down for the athlete introductions.
The world champion from the Great White North, representing Canada, this is Perkins. On target, number 2, representing Estonia, Jaatma.
So enough of the tease. This is a big lineup here. Jaatma from Estonia is 20 years old. He's just the world number 41, but comes off the back of winning the World Youth Championships in Poland just a few short weeks ago. Individual and mixed team for Jaatma in Wroclaw there. And he goes up against a former world champion from Canada. Christopher Perkins took the world title in 2011 and is back to try and claim it again. Time for this quarterfinal. Canada's Perkins, the former world champion, will get us underway.
Again, the wind's going to play a factor in this match. Both archers going a little high left. Christopher being a bit more lucky of the two. See that movement on the bow. Gotta try and hold it still as you can, but a wider one.
Well, solid start from Perkins. 28 is pretty good in these conditions. And we'll see him in the lead after the first end. After a slow start from Jaatma. He impressed at the World Youth Championships. And he salvaged a 27 here. Look, well, let's come back to Jaatma. We've got plenty of time to talk about him. He's just 20 years old. But the 29-year-old Christopher Perkins making a comeback after winning the World Championships in 2011. Is that normal?
You know, I guess that's the great thing about archery. You know, we have 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds competing in the Olympic Games, and you can have someone in that age compete against 16, 17, 18-year-old, and it's one of the best things about our sport, I think.
I mean, you say that he's not competed in the World Championships for 6 years, so it's not that he's stopped shooting, he's just not been up at those high levels.
Yeah, I believe, you know, he goes into America fairly regularly, shooting a lot of big competitions through America. So for him, he's got the best hope of this kind of being home soil. We've got no Americans in this final 8, so he is the closest to that we have.
Yeah, and he's not a million miles away from home, 500 miles north to Winnipeg in Canada, just over the border. And he leads this quarterfinal against Estonia's Jaatma.
Quite a difference in that front stabiliser with these two. Christopher shooting with like a drop down front long rod, just distributes the weight of the bow a little bit lower, can make that hold a little bit easier, whereas Robin here is just shooting a straight long rod, all the weight on the end of it. See the offset angle down in this one. Actually surprised no one's come out so far with a wind bar. A lot of archers will come out with much shorter long rod with the weight stacked on in these conditions just to help it not get blown around like this.
Well, we see there's a great deal of banter and camaraderie between Perkins and his coach, referring to a competition in Turkey, I think. Perhaps Antalya, the windy conditions there.
Antalya, right next to the beach. Always windy. Great tournament. But always interesting. Both archers getting a bit frustrated, but they've just got to stick with it.
Yeah, solid first end from Perkins, matched as a solid second end from Jaatma. Consistency, the order of the day with this sport. They're both on 54s through different routes, and nothing between them as we go into the third end of 5. It will be Chris Perkins to shoot first again.
Real leant back posture, front shoulder up.
Good. X-ray almost killed the spider on that one. Right there.
Very different from our recurve counterparts.
And 10. Tied up. 8 shots to go. Good. 10. Solid at 4.
Dear. It's another one pulled over to the left, and it's always the middle arrow.
Yeah, it does seem to be struggling with that middle one. I can't see a reason why it would be that one. It's usually the easiest of the 3 to shoot.
Now, perfect for Perkins is going to mean that he will lead after 3. Curious, it's that middle arrow all the time. Highest score so far for Robin Jaatma, but he trails by 2 now. Well, Nicky, you're here for your expert opinion. Tricky, I agree. The middle arrow logically would be the one that's going to be the easiest to shoot, but why is it that all of them have gone into the 8s, and more so, why is it they've all gone left of centre?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely saw an imbalance in him. You know, most shots he's holding a nice even balance. You see the front arm, back arm break apart from each other, whereas that one kind of moved in a slightly different direction. So he's losing some sort of pressure. Watch this one here. That was the one. See? Do you see that kind of movement of his front shoulder, almost a twist of the body? So something wasn't quite right in the balance of the shot. Watch this one. Nice, a clean break, front and back moving away from each other. So definitely a clear difference. I can only see a mental reason why that one's different from the others for Robin.
Well, 3 ends of 5 complete here. We go into the 4th. Robin Jaatma trailing by 2 will shoot first. Needs to start his fight back right now.
Just 9. Single point separating these 2 now.
They both look like they're shooting hinges, both thumbs off pegs, just pulling. Can be really tricky in these gusty conditions. Thumb off the peg, keep pulling to the brakes.
10 leads, 9 draws, 10 points. Good. 1 point lead for Chris Perkins.
Great time to pull out a perfect for Robin Jaatma. He's pulled 1 at least back here. Well, it is in fact 2 with the first 28 from Perkins. A pair of them will be tied up on 112 points each going into the 5th and final regulation end. Interesting between these two, you talked about the leaning back style that the Canadian has had. When you compare it to Jaatma, he's very flat. We got a really nice shot on that his last arrow there. He's very flat with his shoulders and his chin as well.
Yeah, a bit more alignment. So we do see a lot of compounders starting to lean back, and I guess, you know, look at the weight stacks they're on these bows. So they're kind of counterbalancing all that weight. You know, very different from recurve, where we have to keep posture, we have to have alignment. If we leant back like that, we'd end up with a string on the archer's chest. So, you know, in compound, you've got that freedom really to move your body around a little bit more. But I mean, his front shoulder's very high. You know, how much stability he's got there. I mean, he's shooting pretty well for it.
Well, he's given up a 2-point lead, Christopher Perkins. And we go into the 5th and final regulation end, at least. 3 arrows left to decide at this quarterfinal.
Immediately trying to pick up the bow. He knew it was aimed low when it went off. Couldn't do anything about it.
Door open for the new World Youth Champion, and he takes advantage of the situation.
Got away with that one. He didn't like the shot at all, clipping the line.
Jaatma in the lead for the very first time. Drops it into the 9, and so they're all square again. So that lead was fleeting for the Estonian. Another one he didn't look happy with, and there is an opportunity for Robin Jaatma, a 10 to make it through to the World Championship semi-finals, and it is a 10 for Robin Jaatma. He trailed throughout the match, but he's done just enough. You need to be in the lead after 15 arrows, and that is exactly what Robin Jaatma has done. He's made it through to the World Championship semi-finals here in Yankton. He trailed right the way through, but he remained stoic in his approach.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't pretty, was it, from either of them? Difficult conditions, tricky, both trying to shoot hinge. Well, the conditions kept changing. Look at the weight stack on that back bar he's got there, and, you know, he kept his head down, he kept going with it. And that is the result.
Well, there you have it. Let's take a look back. Chris Perkins, who won the 2011 World Championships in Turin, showed some of the great form he showed there 10 years ago to make it through to the Elite 8, but not enough, says Robin Jaatma. A low-scoring quarter-final, but all you need to do is be in the lead at the end, and that's exactly what Robin Jaatma has done, and he's through to the semi-finals.